My name is Cyril Topalov. I am Strategic Partnership Development Manager in G1ANT. At today's meeting, I would like to discuss with you solutions of robotic process automation which G1ANT has created. At the first part of our meeting, I'm going to show you a short presentation about main features of the system. At the second part of the presentation, my colleague will show you the real work of the system and will run real robots. Okay, let's start. We at G1ANT have created two solutions, G1ANT.Studio and G1ANT.Orchestrator. G1ANT.Studio is the entire environment where you can create robots and run them. It has runtime in it, so you don't need any additional software to run the robots. G1ANT.Studio developers version is absolutely free and has full functionality from the beginning. You can download and create the robots, and you start the license only at the moment when you launch it by your customer. G1ANT.Orchestrator is a web application to manage the bigger farms of robots. Till 10 robots, you can manage them from G1ANT.Studio. But when you have bigger amount of them, it is more convenient to have G1ANT.Orchestrator. About G1ANT.Orchestrator, we will speak in the latest session. G1ANT.Studio is a very light solution. It is a one executive file about 150 megabytes, which does not need to be installed. That means that you don't need to have administration access to run it. Robots written in G1ANT.Studio do not require much computer resources. There is only 1 GHz of CPU and 1 GB of RAM needed, which is very important for the legacy systems and legacy computers. It can even work without internet connection, which is in some cases very important from the security point of view. Security of G1ANT.Studio is based on Microsoft Windows technology. That means that no extra permission needed after you logged in. The robot can do everything the user does, and no extra permission needed. G1ANT robots can work in both attended and unattended mode, and there is no extra payment for it. G1ANT.Studio is a code-based solution. That means that robots are created by rewriting the code, what is much more convenient for developers in comparison to drag and drop. Also, it makes robots faster, lighter, and safer. In G1ANT.Studio, you can create robots in 3 languages: G1ANT language, C#, and in Python. It also supports .NET and Python libraries, so you can automate both hardware and software with every IT technology. G1ANT language is very simple to understand and to learn. About 3-4 hours need developer, and a few days for junior level it's required to learn this language. It is very close to English. When you write keyboard, then you write what it has to be written. When you write open notepad, it opens notepad. Addons. Addons extend the possibilities of G1ANT.Studio. Addons also allow you to make changes in G1ANT.Studio, adding new panels and functionalities. All add-ons are free. They were written by G1ANT and by our customers and can be downloaded from the marketplace or GitHub. Using add-ons, you can make your own data types and data structures, or build any integration with external technology. Together with our partners, we have already created add-ons for the most popular applications on the market. For example, MS Suite, SAP, Google Workspace, Selenium, and many other. However, if there is no add-on for some technology, add-ons could be created in Visual Studio. You can download the Nugget package provided by us for Visual Studio and can create add-ons by yourself. All the add-ons are open and can be downloaded from GitHub. Users can change any part of the code by themselves, can modify it, and G1ANT.Studio has open APIs, so it can be managed remotely using REST technology. G1ANT.Studio has built-in support for many technologies and has database engines. For example, MS SQL or Oracle. It has also input and output streams and many others. Studio had also low-code features, for example, Recorder, which can record desktop applications, movement of mouse, web application. It also has Inspector, which finds the proper element of an application or a button. Elements could be identified in 3 ways. So first is XPath technology, which finds the way to the element or the button and describes it in a view of code. Second possibility is to find the coordinate of the element. It could be absolute coordinates or the screen, or it could be relative coordinates in the application. The third possibility is search by image. So the element is searched by image. It also supports Windows, Java, and Sub3. In G1ANT.Studio, you can run a lot of robots doing different tasks. However, at one time, on one license runs one robot. For example, you can create robots for scraping data, doing payroll automation, and sending emails, but they will work depending on some triggers. There are 3 types of triggers. First is time. For example, from 1 to 2 p.m., robot makes payroll automation. From 2 to 3, scraping data. From 3 to 4, sending emails. It can be file in exact folder or folders. When the file appears, the robot starts to work. And third possibility is email. When certain email comes, robot starts to work. Of course, you can create your own triggers. For example, we had this situation of automation of manufacturing, and the robot was starting on his work depending on the data coming from the thermometer. Credential container contains sensitive data and could save your passwords or access codes used by robot by logging into the different systems on the computer or through web. G1ANT.Orchestrator. G1ANT.Orchestrator is a web application based on .NET Core technology where you can coordinate farms of robots. There are no limits in the amount of robots which you can create and which you can manage using G1ANT.Orchestrator. Dashboard is BI analytics, which you can also create by yourself, setting up these analytics which you need. You can show usage of CPU or RAM, for example, like on this picture. But as I said, you can set up dashboard metrics by yourself according to your needs. Status screen allows you to find all critical information on the one screen. You can also choose statuses and colors by yourselves, which gives possibility to control all of the robot farm from one screen. G1ANT.Orchestrator can send emails with alarms when with robot is something not right. Store all data about farm-like logs, events, and statuses. It also has a global credential container, which could be used by all robots. Orchestrator can transfer scripts with the changes to many Giant studios. Thank you for watching this presentation. Now I would like to pass the word to the technical lead of our RPA team, Maciej Kępiński.
Thank you, Cyril. My name is Mag, and I'm in charge of the RPA department at Giant, and I will show you how Giant Studio works. As Cyril mentioned, we have own language, Giant language, very easy to use, very easy to learn, but also we can use C# and Python snippets. What does it mean? It means you can write one script with 3 languages at the same time, and you can mix these languages in one script. And the first part of my script is about this feature. Of course, you can import any .NET library, any Python library, and you can automate any technology with these snippets. And so, a robot will use C# snippet and Python snippet, get some information, and after that robot will open Notepad application and write this result of these snippets in Notepad application. The next part of my script is about recorders, because in Giant Studio we have many recorders, and we can record your workflow. We can record mouse, we can record keyboard, but also we can record whole workflow on web browser applications and desktop applications. And after that, Giant Studio generate a script automatically, like in this part of my code. But so we know that clicking on proper pixel on your screen is not the best way to automate your processes. That's why we have XPath technology. XPath is an address of an element on your application. We have something named inspector, and with inspector we can choose any element of application, for example number 8 on calculator, and after that we can use this element in our script. And this part of code is about XPath. So the next part is about web browser. Of course, we can automate any web browser applications. We support many web browsers like Chrome, like Firefox, Internet Explorer, Edge, and we have dedicated add-on for Internet Explorer. We have add-on for Selenium, and here robot will open one web page, scrape some data from this web page, read this data aloud, after that click on a button on this web page and fill one form. And the last part of my script is about add-ons. Add-ons are small applications which can expand Giant Studio and the Giant language. And here robot will use Microsoft Office add-on to create one Excel report and save this report in Word application. Okay, let's start with my example. This part is about C# and Python, recorder with Microsoft Paint, XPath technology, web browser, scraping data.
I can read this web page. Scale your business with robots. Giant is the fastest growing RPA software platform on the market. We know how to make your business work faster and more effective with robots made on Giant software. We can implement them ourselves or work with your team. Let's automate.
And of course, robot can click on the button and fill the form. And the last part about Excel and Word. And of course, this is a very short presentation, but I believe that it showed you that we can automate any application. We can automate desktop application, web browser application. We can automate any inputs like keyboard and mouse. And I believe we can automate any process in your company. Thank you very much.